Oops. Oops. How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are talking about the ultimate seam iron, the absolute best and most technical seam iron I've ever seen in my life. This is the 893 seam welder from Taylor Tools, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, we've been doing giveaways all month long. In this video, after I demonstrate this video and show you how awesome it absolutely is, I'm going to give it to one lucky winner on this channel here in just a few minutes. So let's get right into the video. I'm actually going to do a demonstration and show you guys how to use it, all the perks about it, and everything like that. So let's get right into it, okay? So to fully understand the iron, I also have the Taylor 890 iron, and I'm going to talk about this one a little bit as well. That way you can get a complete understanding about the 893 weld iron, okay? So on both irons, come right down really close right here. Both of the Taylor tool irons, they have the little fin right here on the back, and if you're wondering what the fin does, I'm actually going to do a seam with this iron right here, which is the 890, and show you just exactly what that little fin right there does, because whenever you use the 893, you won't be able to quite see exactly what's going on the way you have to run this, but the results of this iron is absolutely phenomenal, okay? And we're going to get all into all the details about these irons. So right now I'm just going to do a regular seam using this 890 iron, and I'll show you the purpose of the fin right there on the back, okay? I've already got this row cut on both sides and ready to go for the sake of time. So you guys just have to bear with me right here. I really want you guys to see the benefits of these irons, okay? These Taylor irons are phenomenal, okay? I'm not being biased at all about that. These are absolutely the best irons I've ever used, okay? They have 5 different settings right here instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, or I can't even remember. I've had these for a while now, so I can't remember the exact amount on them. But anyway, I'm going to show you the purpose of the fin right there on the back as we put this together. So come right over here, Bubba. I got my son running the camera for me. My wife is relaxing. She's not feeling so hot right now, so I didn't want to disturb her. But anyway, if you can see right there how I kind of tuck the carpet up underneath of that fin right there. Now watch as I push it right here, and then I'll slide it together, and then after the very first time, you'll see that fin take effect, okay? The fin on that is absolutely awesome. Okay. I'll put my seamer down now on it for just a second, so it's going to be just a little bit loud for just a second. Okay, so watch this now. You're going to see the fin come into work right there. This will keep your nap all separated. It actually almost puts the seam together for you, okay? Watch this. So look how it keeps the nap separated on that and allows that to slide right together just beautifully. Okay, watch this now. It's going to go perfect as I push it right together. That fin makes all the difference on this. Okay, I'm not going to turn that on. I'm just going to hold it down. I've never seen a better designed iron than these Taylor irons, okay? And I'm doing the same with this one right here, just so if you haven't seen any of the Taylor irons in use or have ever used one, you can understand what this fin's for. You can actually, this thing has a light. See the light right there on the back of it? So it shines right down here where you can see the backing of the carpet. Absolutely perfect. It's got that LED light right there, so you have plenty of light to see the seam go together and all of that stuff just beautifully, okay? Again, I was just doing a seam with this really quick so you could see the fin in action right there. Look how it just keeps the nap all separated and everything like that. We'll finish this up right here, and then I got some stuff I want to show you. Okay. Okay, so Give me just 1 second. Okay, so again, that was just for the simple fact of seeing the fin and the light and everything like that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and make the seam using the heat, the seam welder right there, okay? And I'll show you the benefits of that. It's absolutely phenomenal. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Nick Espinola. He's the one over in California, Gold Coast, Florida. He's actually the one that bought me this iron right here as a gift since I've been here in Tennessee, so it's not quite been a year. You guys may have seen the video on it whenever I first got it. He bought it for me, and before he bought it, we was actually talking about this iron right here, the one that welds it together, because he was doing some research on irons and stuff like that. And I gotta say, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. The way it pushes the glue out there, it's probably just gonna be a mess and an absolute disaster to work with. But that's my honest opinion, okay? That is what I was thinking. And because it does push glue out and it welds the two carpets together, I was like, that's just gonna be a mess. That's gotta be an absolute disaster when you're trying to work a seam with it. Well, turns out, since I've got my hands on it, and I had the gentleman from the CFI convention that we went to in San Antonio, Texas, turns out it's absolutely awesome, okay? I've got a handful of seams. That stack of carpet right there, showing that stack of carpet right here. I've got a half a dozen seams right here, literally, that I've made with this iron, and that's all I've done with it. And the very first seam that I actually made, it's turned out perfect. It ain't no rocket science or anything like that, how to use it. There is just a slight difference that you have to do, and I'm going to show that to you here in a minute. Rather than using the traditional iron and just sliding it, there is a little bit extra that you have to do, and I'm going to show you that and go over it. That way, whoever wins this can get the results out of it that you're supposed to have, okay? So right now, I'm just going to slide it on some tape. That way you guys can see how much glue comes up out of this hole right here. So let's see here, I'm going to point right there. There's a little hole right there. Let me turn the iron over also. So you can see the bottom, there's a little square hole right there, and that glue will actually come out of that hole right there, which joins the two carpets together. It don't pour out too excessively to where it makes a huge mess or anything like that. It actually does just enough to where it welds it together just like a seam sealer, okay? So you'll see how much comes out here. Whenever it first takes off, you might go, oh my goodness, that's gonna be too much, but it really don't gain that much. I'm gonna get a little bit more tape right there. That way you can see it over a good amount of tape rather than just a foot or so like that. So let's see here. Okay. Let me turn it and you can see it real good. So now you'll be able to see the glue start oozing up out of there. And it only takes about 1.5 inches or so before the glue actually starts coming up out of there, and it will start sticking. There it comes already. You see that glue starting to come out of there already? See that little bubble right there? Now watch, as we are doing I got about 2.5 or 3 feet of seam tape right here, and I'm just gonna steadily push it. That way you can see it build up and come out of there. See, it's not getting that much bigger, so it's not that much excessive. You don't have too much to where it makes a big mess. That was the whole point of doing this right here. I want to show you just how much comes out. And you might think, well, every single time that you do a seam, you're going to have to clean that off. No, you don't either, because whenever you're running this seam, that glue that's right there on the edge of that actually gets pushed on the edge of your carpet, just like if you're doing sealing your edges with a hot melt, the thermoplastic seam sealing guns like the Trax or the Peak Buster or anything like that. So you can see the amount that's coming out of there already. That's about 2 foot I've done. So all of that dispersed out into about 2 foot. That is really not that much, okay? It will definitely be evenly distributed out on the carpet, and you don't have to clean it off. Once you get more of it, once you go to your next seam, the top of this is going to be clean from like I said, it getting wiped on the carpet. Now I'm just doing this so you guys could see how much actually comes out of those holes, okay? And I'm not able to see the comments or anything right now, so I will answer questions and stuff here in just a few minutes after I get done with this demonstration. First, I want to just do this really fast. Now, I want to wipe that off because so I'm going to take and wipe this off now because I didn't have no carpet there to wipe it off for myself. So let's see here. I'll clean it off and then I want to make a seam with it, okay? And I'll show you guys the only difference. I'm sorry, I'm making a mess on somebody's iron here. Okay, anyway, I got that all cleaned off there. Now I want to make a seam with it. You guys are going to be absolutely astonished, okay? This is awesome. There's absolutely no need. You don't have to run any thermoplastic. Look over there at my glue gun right there. So you guys know how the thermoplastic seam sealing guns do. You can actually take and bend your carpet back just like this. As I've done in my video, 2 ways to seam seal carpet. You can bend a seam backwards like that. It won't break. It just makes an arch like that. Because what that does, it welds the 2 pieces together, okay? Let me show you right here. So if you got 2 pieces of carpet, that glue will get completely coverage from the top to the bottom of the carpet like that, and it's not stuck just on the bottom where the tape adheres. Therefore, whenever you pull apart when you're stretching, it don't allow that to gap like that and make your seam peak. Okay, so the purpose of those hot melt guns like that is keeping it from peaking. It joins it solid. The complete thickness of the backing gets welded together, literally, okay? This gun does exactly, this seam iron does exactly the same thing, okay? Let me get going on this. We'll make this seam right here. And these are actually a seam that I made with this iron, and I cut it all in pieces, and I inspected every bit of the seam. It's about 2.5 foot seam. I just cut it in pieces about this big and looked at the seam all the way down through there. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. I want you guys to see that seam as well. Let me get those pieces you're setting on right there, Bubba. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a seam with this, show you guys just how to use that iron. And like I said, it's not rocket science or anything like that. It's really simple to use. There's just a small little difference that you have to make whenever you're doing a seam with that iron. Scoot up here because I got glue on it right here where I was doing all them other seams earlier. Tell you what, I've been using a Cool Glide iron, and this feels really good using a traditional iron again. Okay, so as I'm going right here, I am going to use the seamer down now on this just because. Okay, now starting off here, again, I want to tuck my edges right up underneath of that little fin right there, okay? This is going to be a little bit loud while I use the seamer down now. And again, look at that light on that. That is absolutely awesome right there. Being able to see that much of your seam that good. Okay, so what you want to do whenever you start your seam out, because that oozes out, just like I showed right there, I'm going to pull it together. So right there, I've already got it together. So now I want to take my fingers and pinch it right there. And as it's going together, I just want to work that right there, okay? Just like so. That keeps it pushing that hot melt glue all over both edges of that and allows it to weld together, okay? Thank you, Jared. I see that right there. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. It's going to be a little bit loud here, okay? Go ahead and pull that back just a little bit. Okay, once again, I'm going to go ahead and push it together. See how I'm doing that with my fingers? That's all you have to do, literally. I even do it with this hand right here. As it comes off of my iron, I just want to pinch it together, okay? It's not that big of a deal at all. It's actually quite simple. And this works just like the hot melt seam sealer. Now I'm gonna finish up the seam. Watch my hands again. I'm just kind of pulling it together as I'm going there, and that takes and scrapes the glue off of that little piece right there. So you see that? That's the excess glue that's left over. You don't have to worry about that at all. Any extra glue right there will actually seep back down in through that hole. Look at my iron right here. See where it runs back down through the hole and drips out right there on the tray? So any excess is not going to be a problem for your very next seam. I done 5 or 6 seams a while ago, literally, with that iron, and I never took and cleaned it off one time just for the simple fact of I wanted to see how it worked. If you would have to clean it off or not, okay? Okay, I'm gonna set this aside, get it over here on the wood floor, and let it cool off real good. And then we're gonna, oops, about pulled it apart right there. Then we're gonna examine these seams that I already have put together right here, okay? Another really awesome feature about this iron, it has this Teflon top right here. You see that? You can't take and touch irons like that without burning yourself, okay? You can touch this, it's cool to the touch. It's not, I can't say it's cool, but it's not so hot where it's gonna burn you, okay? See that? I actually have my fingers right dead on that. That prevents the carpet from getting too hot. Thank you for that super chat there, buddy, whoever done that. That prevents the iron from getting too hot. If any of you guys ever let your iron sit too long, look here, Bubba, and you're running your carpet like that, what happens is, say, right here is my seam, and the iron is right here. When the carpet gets too hot, it automatically does this right here, and it tries to pull your seam apart. Even if you roll it and anything like that, your seam will actually curl like that right there if you get the backing of the carpet too hot, okay? In any case, the cooler you can keep the carpet while you're seaming it, the better, okay? So this definitely helps keep the backing of your carpet cooler, which allows it to stay flatter. You're not gonna have any peaking, you're not gonna have any unnecessarily curling around your seam or anything like that, okay? So let's get right here and look at all these samples. I just made all of these seams just a few minutes ago, okay? So this seam right here, you can see I marked it on the back. It has no seam sealer on it. I made this with my 890 iron, and I did not put any sealer on it just for the fact I wanted to show you what happens if you take a seam that don't have any seam sealer on it and you bend it. Watch what happens here, okay? Obviously the seam, well, let me get like this. The seam breaks open. See that right there? So that's what happens if you do not seal the seam, okay? You get a break right on it like that if you bend your seam. That is just how it works. There's nothing to join the complete thickness. So this is the backing of the carpet. What is going on right there is only joined at the bottom layers of the carpet, okay? So therefore, when you bend it, it opens right up because it's only joined at the bottom. This one right here has been sealed. See how I mark it sealed? That way I would know what's going on. So this one, I used my track gun over here, the thermoplastic right there, to seal it. And this is the result you get if you use a thermal sealer. See that right there? So that's my seam right there. You can actually see the profile of the tape itself, okay? It stops that seam right there from breaking open because it's completely joined the complete thickness of the backing, okay? So not only, again, this is the backing of the carpet, okay? Not only is it joined here, it's joined, this complete thickness of the backing right here is literally welded together. So it's like one piece. It's actually stronger than one piece of carpet because it literally welds it with the hot melt glue in there. Okay, now the rest of these seams are done with this seam welder right here from Taylor, the 893L. The L stands for light, I'm pretty sure. Looky here, so this is done again with those right here. No seam sealer whatsoever, okay? And look at the results here. So look at that again. I'm going to show right here. You can see the profile of the tape right there. It does not break on the seam. You see that right there? So the edge of the seam, edge of the tape right here, and right in the middle of the seam, it absolutely is not breaking. So that is without any seam sealer whatsoever. Right here's another one. Look at that. This is another one. right in the middle of this piece right here with no seam sealer, just the Taylor iron, okay? Look at that. Does not break open whatsoever. This is completely welded together, the complete thickness of the backing. And like I said, I took one of those seams. This is a seam that was done by this iron right here, the 893 weld iron. And I want to show you guys something up really close right here. This was absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to check out the piece that I actually sealed as well. This one right here. I'm going to cut it up in just a second too, and we're going to inspect that as well. So let's get really close right here. I want to show you guys something right here. I want to make sure that we can see this. So you can see the actual glue in the backing of the carpet right there. Is that showing up? Okay, yeah, it is. So right here, and then you see a thick spot right there. That is actually the seam right there. It is completely welded. You can see all the way to the top of the backing to the bottom of the backing. It is completely joined right there, okay? That's what makes that fold like that without breaking open, okay? That is awesome. And I checked my whole entire seam like that I did. You can see how many pieces I cut up. Look, right here it is again. So there is the thickest point of the glue right here. And that is actually my seam right there. That stops that, again, from breaking open, okay? We'll go through these piece by piece. I got this whole seam cut up here. We'll get rid of that one. That's the one I just looked at. Look right here. Let me try to find the seam again in this. Okay, so right there, it looks like that's it. You can see the glue on it is completely from the back all the way to the bottom of the backing. That is awesome, okay? Look at that. Again, it's holding it completely. Look at that. That's awesome. Here's another piece. Let's see here, right. Kind of hard to tell on this one because you can't even see the cut at all because it's literally welded together. That's it right there. Okay, that's phenomenal. Here's another piece. It's, like I said, it's hard to even see. Right there is the seam, completely joined all the way from the top to the bottom. Again, look at that right there. Here's another one. This is the entire seam, like I said, completely cut, top to bottom, sealed off. We got a little rough on that one, looks like. That's the very end of it, okay. Let's see here. Right there it is again. So there's the seam, all the way joined. Let's take this and break it back and just see the pressure that it takes to break it back. So look at that, it's not breaking at all. I'm gonna intentionally break this open and see what it looks like, okay? Let's look at that edge right there as we break it. See, I can hear it snapping literally. Okay, now this is gonna be good right here. This is gonna be really good. So look at this. Look where it broke open there. Check that out. So that actually just like pulled the backing apart right there where the glue and stuff actually held it so good. Let's check out this other side. So you can see how it started stringing apart right there, the nylon and stuff like that. That held up absolutely phenomenal. Look how whenever it broke, see all the little strings and stuff, it literally separated the backing on that. It held so good, the glue did. Okay, look at this again. Let's do one more like that. That was pretty awesome. So again, I'm gonna take and push on that and break it open. So even though I just put my thumbs right there on the crack and broke it open, look, it's still got an arch to it where it tried not to even break with me putting my thumbs right there. It's still kind of arched right there. Look at that. So it literally just shredded the backing because it was joined so well together. You can't even see a straight line where the seam was. It goes up this way
then way over here where it literally just broke an extra part of the backing. It didn't even break on the same seam line. So that is absolutely awesome. This right here is the piece that I seam sealed. I want to cut a couple pieces out of this and see what it looks like, because it was seam sealed with the Trax thermoplastic seam sealer. Let's inspect this and see what we got right here. Okay, so I can actually see the cut right here in this one. Now, I didn't do this to stage it or anything like that. I literally just made a couple of seams. However, it is holding together, but you still can see the slight gap right there in the seam. It ain't really a gap, it's just where the thermoplastic lined up in there. You couldn't even see that with the iron, okay? Let's break this apart and see what happens right there. Okay, so that definitely held. Look right here. So there is my seam, and again, it broke over beside my seam. So even the thermoplastic is stronger than the actual carpet itself once you make a seam with that. Let's check out another piece right here. Let's see here. Okay, now this one right here, I cannot see the seam unless it's that right there. If it's that right there, then yeah, I can. Okay, yeah, so that right there is the seam, but that done pretty daggum good as well. It's basically the exact same thing. Okay, so right here, again, looks like my seam right there, I believe. Whenever I break it, I'll be able to find out. So let's check that out. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought my seam was right there. It's actually right here beside it. So it done really good in welding that together as well. So there really ain't a whole lot of difference. Look how it breaks open. It just destroyed the backing because it's welded together top to bottom of the backing, just like the iron did. So there really is absolutely no difference at all in between sealing your carpet seams with this iron right here, or using a thermoplastic seam gun. The only difference is you don't have to use a thermoplastic seam gun. It's all one process with this iron right here. So to bypass one extra step in the process of that is just awesome. Taylor Tools have really outdone themselves with these irons. I fell in love with my 890 iron. Let's see here, Bubba. I think I should be good now, Bubba, okay? Thanks for doing that, okay? So I fell in love with my 890 iron right there whenever I first got it. I have fell in love with this right here. Sadly, I have to give it away, but I absolutely, I love it myself. If I ever have to get another iron, I will be getting this one, okay? Okay. All right, so that is the demonstration. I just kind of halfway seen something there about what my wife said. I think I need to get in there on my desktop so I can answer some questions. I think she said something like that. So I'm gonna unplug this iron. Again, at the end of the day, at the end of this live stream right here, I will be giving away this iron right here. Again, it is the 893 seam welder by Trax, and it is absolutely awesome. The light in the back is just strictly an LED light so you can see better. To the best of my knowledge, I just read everything about this and it didn't say anything about a UV tracer. That's just so you can see the backing of your carpet real good as you're putting it together. Something else I want to point out about these Taylor irons, these things have a phenomenal long cord, okay? My shop right here, my little studio, from one end of the wall to the other is 23.5 feet. This cord on these irons right here will reach all the way across. I'm gonna show you that right fast. These cords are 23.5 foot long, okay? You do absolutely do not see irons with cords that long, and this is phenomenal that they thought to put a cord on an iron that long, because every iron needs a long cord. Always have to use an extension cord with these irons, okay? All right, so it's kind of pulling where it's curved up. See, this is it right here. I'm gonna follow it all the way down, okay? It's kind of crinkled up right there, so you're not getting the full length, but it is about 6 inches from the wall. Look right here, I'll follow it all the way down. Right, look at that, way over there. 23.5 foot cord on that iron, and it is a heavy duty cord. It's unreal, the cords that they put on that. Look, this is my other one right here. Look at all that cord that comes with that. 23.5 foot, okay? What's this? I'm just gonna put a tape measure down there and show you guys. Give me just 1 second here. So I'm gonna be running the tape and holding the camera all by myself. Might have done this while my son was in here, but I didn't think about it. You can see right there where my cord touches the iron right there. Watch this. I'm gonna run it all the way down, okay? Like I said, it's gonna be just a little bit shorter than it really is because it is crinkled up. I can't pull all the crinkles out of it, but you'll see it's gonna be about 23 foot right there, even with the crinkles, okay? All right, looky here. All right, so right there is showing 22 foot right there, okay? Now watch this. Like I said, it's all twisted up where it's brand new cord and it ain't got all the kinks out of it or anything like that, okay? Look, all the way over to my iron. I literally stretched it out a while ago by myself, pulled the tension out. I set that sheetrock bucket on it right there, put it all the way up against the wall, set that sheetrock bucket on it, and pulled the cord tight all the way over here to this other wall and measured it. It was 23.5 feet long, okay? So that is awesome. Okay. Once again, we are going to be giving that iron away, regretfully, because I would like to have one myself. But anyway, we'll get to that when the time comes. I'll be buying that myself. 154 cord, awesome demonstration, sweet seaming iron. It absolutely is. I love it. Them things are $196 on Tools for Flooring. Give me 1 second. And that is going to be somebody's. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to give it away. Let me come inside. I think there's a bunch of questions. My wife has said something about me coming inside to the desktop. So I'm going to go inside and see what's going on, make sure I ain't leaving nothing out here. Okay, it's going to be dark out here for just a second while I walk inside. So what you guys think about that? Ruben liked the shirt. Yeah, I'm actually just started breaking out. I had a whole bag of shirts from CFI where I just now started breaking them out. Whenever I started doing these videos for different companies and stuff, I wanted to wear the shirts that what tools I was, she's got hers on too. We got these at the CFI. So just now breaking them out. Like I said, I had a whole bag
I had mine out.
Yeah, she's had hers out, but had a whole bag of them. This is my video cameraman that just done that. That's my son, Clayton. I don't think any of you guys have met him. Here, say hi, Bubba.
Hi.
Y'all met my daughter. This is my son. He's, how old are you, 24? 25? 25. My daughter's 27. Yes, sir. Thank you. Looks like I missed out on a whole bunch of those. There's $27 in super chats tonight. Really appreciate that. $200 for that iron is definitely reasonable. Now, granted, you can get seam irons for $89 and $79 and so forth like that. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. But it is not going to be that iron right there, okay? Let's see here. How's it going, Billy? Thanks for joining, buddy. Let me get my screen up and running here. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I'll run through some questions. Thank you, Pitbull Militia. Appreciate that, buddy. Daniel Sherman said hi, buddy. Clayton. He said hi. Thank you, guys. Okay. I got my super chat, my window opened up here. Now I can see the for really nice seams in less time. Yeah, you're exactly right. As a matter of fact, I went and looked at the reviews on that iron just a while ago I before I went and did this video, and there's only 2 reviews on that iron, and someone said they actually absolutely love the iron. It is really good for good quality seams is what someone said, and I can't remember the other one on that. I might just pull that up right now and see the review on it itself. That way you guys can see what other people have seen besides me. Let me turn this camera around right here. Okay, so this is one of them. This is a review. There's only 2. See right here, 2. I really like this weld iron. It makes a difference when you do high quality installs. So that is one review by someone. Right here is the other one. I own the original and currently use the cheaper model. With this lighted, I never understood why they didn't make a black light into it as such. All the light really doesn't matter. How it does matter, I beg to differ on that. But anyway, what they said right here, all the other features make this an easier iron to use than most, if not all other irons. The great warranty alone makes it completely worth it. Send it in, and they send a brand new one back. So, I don't understand quite how somebody could say the light is pointless. It absolutely helps me out tremendously. Even on my 890 iron, it helps me out tremendously. Been able to see the backing, making sure the backing is together good and all that stuff. However, if you do use seams, if you do make seams quite oftenly, a lot of the stuff is by feel. You can feel of it and see. There you go. Makes it easier in dark rooms. And out west, I don't know. I'm in Tennessee now, but out west, hardly anybody has overhead lights. Everybody uses lamps. I don't know what the deal is with that. But anyway, a lot of people will feel their seams to see if it's overlapped or not. I do too, but still having the light is absolutely awesome and definitely makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. Let me see if I can get in some questions right here. If anybody has any, I've been busy. I haven't looked at anything yet. So let me see what's going on here. Light is good the older we get. Yeah, there you go. Stem 29, I hear you on that. Will seam tape show up with the black light or UV light? I don't know that it will, but I do know this. Just because something does pass the UV test does not mean it's going to pass the seam test, okay, by an inspector. And even if it fails a black light test, does not necessarily mean that it's going to fail a seam test either, okay? Some of these glue sticks out there, the thermoplastic glue sticks, have 0 UV tracer in them. That's because of clubs, bars, and stuff like that, where they have low light and a lot of black lights and stuff like that in them. They cannot use those. So some of the thermoplastic seams sealers are made with no UV tracer. So when an inspector goes out and looks at their seam, okay, if they're a good inspector and they're really wanting to get to the nitty gritty of it, they're not just going to shine a light on it and say, okay, it failed right there. They're going to literally pull those fibers apart, take a pin, a needle, or something like that, shine a flashlight on it, and pick at your seam and see if it is sealed properly, okay? So if your inspector goes out there and says, oh, thank you, Nick, I appreciate it, buddy, from Gold Coast Flooring. He's the one I was talking about earlier that actually bought me that 890 iron. So a huge shout out to you for that, Nick. That is a super awesome gift. I really love that iron. Nothing's been given out yet, Josh. But anyway, if your inspector goes out there and just shines a light on it and fails your test, fails your seam, just because it has a UV tracer on it, that's not right at all, okay? If you guys seen the video I did here a while back on the info overload, that information comes straight from a carpet inspector himself, okay? So they're going to get down in there and pick at that with a needle, some kind of safety pin or something, just to see how well it is put together, okay? Like I said in that video, even if it does have a UV tracer in it and they can see it, that still don't mean you're going to pass, okay? Because it has to be sealed properly is the main thing, okay? So this seam right here, as you've seen when I cut that seam apart, I cut it in 1 inch and 2 inches and 3-inch pieces, inspected that whole seam right here on camera so you guys can see it. That entire seam was put together backing to backing all the way through the seam, okay? There was absolutely zero voids in that seam. So if an inspector gets down on that and picking at it with a pin or something like they're supposed to do, that is absolutely going to pass. I'll say that. Now, as far as UV tracers, I don't think so because it's just your seam iron glue. But if you have an inspector that wants to help instead of just there to get out of to say, oh, installer error and get on with his day, you know, if you're sure, if you use this iron, you need to have him inspected. If he says it fails, you have him inspect it, get down there and pick at that and do his job properly, and you're not going to fail the test because it definitely is seamed all the way through, bottom to top of that backing, the complete length of that seam, okay? So I can't say that for positive because I'm no inspector or anything like that, but if it does, I do not see how it would be legit whatsoever for someone to fail you for a seam, for lack of seam sealing, if that is the case right there. If you're using that iron, I don't see how it would be possible to fail, okay? So that's my take on that. I'm not an inspector, but if they're doing their job, like I said, there's no way they're going to fail you. Let's see here. Low lighted rooms, I use plug-in light bulbs. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a good idea. Nick, we're still waiting on you and the family to come this way. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Just say gold. That's right, Gold Coast Flooring. Most inspectors are there to blame the installers so they don't cover the cost. Well, again, if your inspector goes in there, or whoever's inspector, I'm sure they're not yours, but if an inspector goes in there, shines his light, and fails you just because there ain't no UV tracer, don't let that fly. Don't let that fly whatsoever, okay? I have actually, you guys, if you guys been fans of mine for a long time and seen me when I first started, I was not sealing seams when I first started, okay? And I had an issue out in Tucson where it was like a reverse snap or whatever, where it gets road crushed. And I actually had to have a guy come out and inspect my seam because it was the really low nap carpet. There was no seam sealer on it. He did not fail me, okay? It was a faulty carpet. He went out there and done whatever it did whatever he did. And like I said, there was no seam sealer on it. And he took responsibility and said the carpet was faulty, even though there was no seam sealer on it, okay? Because he could plainly see that it was the carpet's fault, okay? So that guy was wanting to do his job properly. They rarely seal plush jutes here in Minnesota. I try to seal everything nowadays. Like I said, I did not whenever I first started this, but a lot of you guys or a lot of people look at me as a teacher or something like that. So I figured since I was teaching someone how to do it, I needed to show them the right way. So that is the real reason why I started sealing seams. But also, since I did start sealing seams, and I see the benefit of, like I said, the thermoplastic and stuff joining the complete backing of the carpet together where it does not break open, it only makes sense to seal your seams, literally. If it's going to improve and strengthen your seam up that much, and you see the results of that, and then you still don't seal your seams, I don't know. You got to want to do better. I'll just say that. Do you have any vids on seal seaming? Yeah, actually I do. I just mentioned it a while ago. It's called 2 Ways to Seam Seal Carpet. So we can get, if you want me to, I'll put a link to that in the description of this video for you. That way you don't have to go digging it, because I've got quite a few videos out there, and sometimes it's hard to find it. Actually, if you just want to type that in, 2 Ways to Seam Seal Carpet, I'm pretty sure that's the title of it, so it should pop up there. Excuse me, getting a little dry from all this rambling on. Seams are good. Never sealed one ever. Never seen anyone in my area do it either. Never had an issue with an inspector. I've only had an inspector come out to one of my jobs for a seam, and that was it. That was actually the only time an inspector has ever been on my job for anything that I've done, and he passed me. He didn't give me any fit whatsoever, so I can actually say that too. And almost 30 years of doing this, and I just started sealing my seams about 4 years ago, maybe. Not even that long, because I just had my YouTube channel since January 2017. And it's been since then that I've started sealing my seams. So if you don't seal your seams and an inspector has to come out and inspect carpet for an issue, they're going to nail you and make you eat the job. Well, let's hope we do it really sweet then, so it don't taste too bad. I hear you on that, Sean. But like I said, I wouldn't let them get away with it if they were strictly basing it on the UV tracing. I wouldn't let that fly at all. I would definitely, I don't know the word for it. I would, y'all forgive me. Have a little brain farts there. I would dispute it. That's what I was trying to think of. I would dispute that and say, no, you need to do further inspection on that. You're not going to, thank you, Daniel. You need to do further inspection on that. You're not going to make me eat that job just because you cannot see something glowing right there. You need to get down and do your job properly before you try to make me eat that job. Can you feel a hard spot on top of the seam using this iron? I did not feel anything, but that's a good point. Yeah, I said it, honey. That's a good point. I never checked it whatsoever. As a matter of fact, we'll go out there right now because that's a good question. I want to go out there and check out those pieces, check out that seam, and we'll find that out right now. Okay. Thank you for asking that. That's a good question. I never felt nothing, even though the whole time it's going to be dark again. I was putting it together even after it was done and all of that stuff. I never felt anything whatsoever. I do know what you're talking about because, oh snap, a stray cat come flying out of my building here. Sometimes since I have been sealing my seams, I've gotten too much and I've had to cut seams apart and fix it because of that. Whenever I've gotten too many, too much seam sealer on a certain spot. Yeah, that thing scared the crap out of me there. Okay, let's take a look right here. That was funny. Let's take a look right here. Okay, so this is it. This is my piece right here, all these pieces right here. And you guys will just have to take my word for it because obviously you can't feel it. But I feel absolutely nothing on that right there. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm centered on that. Okay. Nothing at all again. And I'm mashing down real hard. Yeah, I hear you on that. Cat urine will definitely destroy everything. I usually don't keep my door open, but I was just going inside. Okay, nothing again. So, like I said earlier, when I was actually doing this seam, that was the reason why I actually showed you guys how much it was leaving when I just ran that iron over the tape itself. Showing you how much I was leaving. It don't leave too much to where it causes a problem like that. It actually leaves a really mild bit of it there, and it's just enough to get in the edges just like you would seal a seam. So it absolutely feels good, okay? Yeah, I think it's all good. I don't feel anything there. Let me check. I think this was another one right here. Yeah, okay, so this is another piece right here. I'm gonna go down this whole seam right here. We'll check this out right here. Right here. Still, I'm not feeling nothing. I'm convinced, y'all, that iron just does a great job, okay? Yeah, okay, I had to check, make sure I was still on the seam because I wasn't feeling anything. That thing just does great, okay? That's just all there is to it. Yeah, so there is the answer to that. No, it does not leave enough glue to make a ball of, for instance, like whenever you, I'm gonna make sure that cat is gone. Whenever you back your iron up or something like that, it'll leave a ball of glue. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And then you have a hard clump right there in your seam. That will happen not from just being careless when you're seam and backing it up and stuff like that. So there are certain things you just have to know from experience in order to prevent stuff like that right there, okay? But as far as that seam, that iron leaving too much glue to where it does do that, no, it does not. Phew. Okay, let's see here. I want to have my wife think of a good question for that right there. Treva, that's a really nice tool out there. I want you to think of a really good question to ask to win that tool right there, okay? So she's going to be thinking of something, a really good question about that. Whew. Sorry, I got a little bit winded there. So, any more questions about that particular iron right there? I'm in love with it. I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. And again, I want to shout out right there to Taylor Tools for coming up with such awesome products. Both of them irons, the 890, the 893, are absolutely awesome. Thank you, Taylor Tools, for contributing to this giveaway. That is absolutely awesome. You guys sent a whole box of stuff. Danny Sherman, thanks for being the middleman for Taylor Tools right there. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you joining in on all of these live streams and just being a supporter of the channel. I really appreciate it. I know we stand for a lot of the same reasons. We want to help out the industry and all that stuff like that. I think that's why we click so much, because I appreciate you. I really do. I think I've told you that before. Without making it awkward, I really appreciate you.
Let me see. Come here. Let me see if this is okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was it. I don't know. I might ask a question about that job, but not that. Okay, we're going to do a question, and it is a video, and whoever gets this, you're going to have to know my videos, okay, in order to win this. So I did a job in Tucson. I did 78 steps in a hotel with some rubber stair treads. They was faulty. Whoever can tell me what was wrong with those stair treads is going to win that iron. You guys can go anytime you want to. Turn it down, that's confusing me. So whatever was wrong with those stair treads, whoever can tell me will win that iron right there. You have to tell me what was wrong with them. I've seen a couple people saying something about them, but what was wrong with them? Quite a few answers there that are really close.
No.
That might be like a there's actually quite a bit that are around close to it.
How about that?
Okay. All right. Joe S. Joe S. You're the first one on my screen that showed up right there that got it. You said the nose was defective. You're exactly right. There was, whenever it came out of the mold, the actual nose of it that came over the thing was like almost tapered. It was bad. So that's what the deal was right there. So Joe S. I'll write that down. You are the winner. Yep, Jared Hawkins just now said defective fronts. That was it. That was right too. Both of you guys were right. Joe S. actually got it first. He's the one that got the nose was defective. Okay, Ripley. It was a defective nose on it. The part that the stair nose in itself, right at the bottom of the nosing, was bad.
What'd they win?
I don't think I see that video, huh?
What'd they win?
The 890 seam welder from Taylor Tools, the seam iron. Yeah, I actually end up sending them back. They sent us another one about, I think it was 2 months later, because they took so long to make those. And whenever they sent them back, the same thing was wrong with them again. So I ended up doing some modifying on them, and the rep came out and told me not to scribe them because they was defective, just to overlap them. So that's what we ended up doing on that job. So anyway, that was what was going on. There's actually a couple, I don't know the name of that video. I don't think it was talking about, I don't think the title of it was anything about stair treads. I don't know what the title of that video was, honestly. I've got almost 350, so it's hard to keep track of all of them. Anyway, congratulations, Joe S. You got yourself an absolutely phenomenal seam iron. You are going to love it. If you just do it like I showed you right there, pinch that as you go like that, it's going to bond that perfectly. I hope I made that plenty clear in that demonstration I did out there. And like I said, that was the first time I ever used it. So you've seen how many seams I made with that iron. It is slightly used because I made 5 or 6 seams out there with it. Like I said, the that was the first time I used it. It didn't take a whole lot of changing or anything like that. The very first seam I made with it was one of them that I showed you where it did not break open or anything like that. It worked just fine. My first time I didn't have any issues, okay?
729 said video was defective stair treads.
Okay, that was the name of the video. Defective stair treads is what Stem29 said. If you guys want to check that out, the lip of them was actually wrong. I had to take and shave the lip off all of those, the nosing there. Yeah, that iron looks like a must buy. It absolutely is awesome. Rubber dust. Let's see here. Okay, if you have not already, would you give me a thumbs up on this video? I greatly appreciate it. And again, once you guys get your tools and stuff like that, please do a social media shout out to whoever you won from.
You got some haters.
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. Post your stuff on social media. Say thank you, Taylor Tools. Thank you, Roberts, or whoever has been done that.
Thank you, Danny Sherman.
Yeah, thank you, Danny Sherman. So between Cool Glide and that iron, what's better? I haven't quite got used to the Cool Glide, so I'm still used to the traditional iron. Mostly, I'm still getting broken on the traditional iron, so I like the traditional iron still better, but I am getting better with the Cool Glide. So the more I use it, the more I like it. I just don't do a whole lot of carpet. Okay, everybody, thank you, Taylor Tools. Thank you, Danny Sherman. We appreciate all of you guys for joining in. And Joe S., congratulations on your win. That's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, FBSB is out.